You know that feeling, don't you? A chill running down your spine when you enter a room that's eerily empty yet oddly familiar. That uncanny sensation of stepping into a forgotten childhood dream. The specifics lost to time, but the feelings of unease and nostalgia still strikingly intact. This is the hauntingly beautiful yet unsettling concept of liminal spaces. Now, what if those liminal spaces were given allure? Welcome to the Backrooms. These backrooms, a phenomenon born from the depths of the internet, represent the epitome of uncanny, a seemingly infinite expanse of identical drab rooms absent of all life. This digital folklore quickly transcended its origin, mutating into an icon of horror, mystery, and the fantastical. But much like Icarus flying too close to the sun, the backrooms have fallen from their initial pure concept into an over-commercialized ghost of their former self. Stripped of their raw, captivating nature, they are now often used as mere clickbait, churned into the relentless mill of content production. Throughout this video, we're going to explore how this chilling concept emerged, rose to fame, and eventually how its unique essence was diluted in the unforgiving whirlwind of modern culture. So hold on tight as we delve into the eerie, enigmatic world of the backrooms. I'm sure by now we all know how the backrooms started from this fateful 4chan post, but as a reminder, this is the caption that was written under this image. If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. The reception was immediate and intense. The concept struck a chord, resonating with the online community's fascination for the uncanny and the unexplored. The image, along with the notion of an infinite labyrinth lurking just beyond the edges of our reality, spread across the internet, inspiring curiosity, speculation, and a shiver of unease. The core of the backrooms lies in its simplicity. It's an infinite space stretching beyond the limits of our comprehension, filled with nothing but the monotonous repetition of yellow, decaying rooms. The eeriness of the fluorescent lights, the damp stains creeping up the wallpaper, the silent, unsettling aura that permeates the air, every detail serves to evoke a sense of disquiet and familiarity. But what makes the backrooms kinda unique is how it ties into gaming terminology. The concept suggests that this place is what you encounter when you no-clip out of reality, a term borrowed from video games where a player can pass through solid objects. This connection roots the backrooms firmly in the digital age, adding an extra layer of modern eeriness to this narrative. It's not just a haunted house or a forgotten alley, it's the glitch in our system, the error in our matrix. The disconcerting power of the backrooms doesn't lie solely in its appearance, but also in the psychological response it evokes. The feelings of familiarity, eeriness, and unease we experience are all potent triggers for the primal parts of our brain. These endless decaying rooms tap into a universal fear of being lost and forgotten, making us face the dread of being utterly alone. The backrooms stir our deepest anxieties, similar to the foreboding isolation one might feel when lost in a forest at night or trapped in a dream from which you can't awake. It touches on the unnerving possibility of an alternate reality that's unsettlingly familiar yet alien at the same time. There's a striking parallel here to the Greek myth, the labyrinth. Just as the labyrinth was a maze-like structure filled with dread and danger, the backrooms too is a seemingly endless maze, haunting us with the fear of the unknown lurking just around the corner. As the backrooms narrative took hold, it began to shape and be shaped by the aesthetic of liminal spaces, those in-between transitional areas that are both unsettling and strangely nostalgic. The backrooms also shares a certain kinship with aesthetics like weirdcore, dreamcore, and traumacore, all of which play with disquieting, dreamlike imagery and evoke a sense of nostalgia for an era that's just out of reach. Yet, the backrooms carved out a niche for itself within these aesthetics by focusing on the uncanny aspects of indoor man-made environments. It harnessed the power of nostalgia, combining it with the unease of deserted places to create a unique digital age aesthetic. The unpeopled, stagnant rooms, the mundane yet oddly terrifying lighting, and the sense of ceaseless infinity contributed to creating an aesthetic that was as alluring as it was disconcerting. As the popularity of the backrooms grew, so did its lore. lore. Users began to weave stories and narratives around the backrooms, creating an intricate universe that only expanded its reach and influence. The creepypasta surrounding the backrooms evolved into an elaborate mythology, replete with levels, sublevels, and anomalous levels, each adding a layer of complexity to the existing narrative. The Backrooms Wiki was established as the official repository of this lore, becoming a living document that continued to grow and evolve as more people contributed their stories and experiences. It also included a bestiary of sorts, with entries detailing various entities that might be encountered within the backrooms, adding another level of dread and mystery to the narrative. Prominent figures in the digital world, like YouTuber Kane Pixels, played a significant role in spreading the lore of the backrooms. His found footage videos provided a visual exploration of the backrooms, bringing to life the eerie images and unsettling narratives in a way that captivated viewers and further expanded the reach of the backrooms phenomenon. In unraveling the allure of the backrooms, it's imperative to return to its roots, to the foundational elements that made it a phenomenon. What distinguished the backrooms was not the imagery of discolored, decaying interiors alone, it was the connection these spaces held to our subconscious, an unsettling familiarity that struck a chord with the psyche of the internet. The backrooms held true to the essence of liminal spaces, places of transition, typically physical, which held an uncanny ambiance, a sense of being caught between realities. These are spaces we encounter in our everyday lives, but the backrooms turn them into something more, something eerie and discomforting. Moreover, its connection to aesthetics like weirdcore and dreamcore added layers to the narrative. These aesthetics thrive on the distortion of familiar elements, bending reality until it teeters on the edge of the surreal. They tap into our love for the bizarre and the otherworldly, and the backrooms encapsulated these elements perfectly. The backrooms not only played on the fear of being lost, but it also invoked the terrifying notion of being alone and trapped with no clear escape. This sense of existential dread resonated deeply, presenting an experience akin to a waking nightmare. The concept of entities within the backrooms was another brilliant stroke. These entities weren't monstrous beasts, but nebulous, almost imperceptible presences. They were fear incarnate, embodiments of our deepest anxieties lurking just out of sight, always watching, always waiting. And this is also where I think a lot of people get the wrong idea with the backrooms, because I hear the argument all the time that, oh, the original post mentioned entities, but it didn't mention any kind of monster. It mentioned this kind of, like I said, imperceptible presence. Anyways, diving deeper into the psychology of the backrooms, we find that it strikes our primal fears and uncertainties. It isn't just about the fear of the unknown, but also the terror of the too well-known, the eerily familiar. It's about that feeling of walking into a room and forgetting why you came, about deja vu and yame vu, about dreams where you're running but never moving forward. The backrooms takes these feelings, these uncanny glitches in our perception of reality, and magnifies them, turning them into a landscape that's terrifying precisely because it's so mundane. This is further amplified by the variety of levels within the backrooms. With each level offering a different setting, a new twist on the haunting monotony, the backrooms extended its reach into a wide range of fears and anxieties. You could stumble into the pool rooms, for instance, if you harbored a fear of water, manifesting the specific phobia in a way that felt organic and genuine. The multiplicity of levels provided the backrooms with a dynamic quality, ensuring that it could tap into myriad fears, making it universally terrifying. All these elements, the connection to liminal spaces, the emphasis on psychological horror, the variety of levels, came together to create a shared nightmare. The backrooms was a testament to the power of collective imagination, a horror born out of the digital age, and a chilling exploration of the shadowy corners of our subconscious. The rapid spread of the backrooms across the internet was fueled by a strange concoction of psychology, shared experiences, and an irresistible allure of the unknown. Let's try to dissect these factors, unearthing the key ingredients that turned the backrooms into an internet sensation. Peeling back the first layer, we find ourselves face to face with a term coined by the esteemed Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, I think. Y'all got really mad last time because I pronounced it Jung or something, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, the term I was talking about is the collective unconscious. This reservoir of shared experiences, archetypes, and universal symbols dwells deep within our unconscious minds. It's the wellspring from where the myths, legends, and fairy tales of yore have sprung. The backrooms, with its oppressive fluorescent lights, nondescript carpets, and all-encompassing nature, seems to to have struck a chord with this part of our psyche. The spaces they portrayed were eerily familiar. They echoed the forgotten corners of our everyday world. Think of an abandoned office after hours, or a school corridor during summer break. These are not locales from some far-off fantasy world. They're places we've all passed through at some point. Yet, in their emptiness, they take on a new, unsettling guise. This unnerving familiarity, this deja vu-like sense of having been here before, seemed to resonate with individuals across the globe. On the other hand, the concept of an infinite labyrinth offered an intriguing counterpoint to the mundane familiarity of its setting. Just the sheer scale of the Backrooms was mind-boggling, a theoretically endless expanse of monotonous, decaying rooms. The notion of a vast, unexplored territory waiting just beyond the veil of our reality evoked a primal sense of curiosity. It was a darkly twisted echo of the great age of exploration, promising a sea of monotonous yellow rooms instead of new lands and seas. And I know there are other levels to the Backrooms, but it's just easier to mention yellow rooms. But everything I'm saying here should apply to every level because they're all really similar, at least in the horror and the kind of vibe that they try to portray. This contradiction between the dreary, monotonous familiarity of the rooms and the overwhelming scale and unknown depth of the labyrinth resulted in a tantalizing mystery. The Backrooms offered a puzzle without a solution, a maze without an end, and an exploration with no known destination. The allure of potentially being the one to uncover its secrets, to venture further into the labyrinth than anyone else, proved irresistible to many, propelling the concept of the Backrooms from an obscure internet post into a full-blown internet phenomenon. As the allure of the Backrooms took root, it began to permeate the broader fabric of internet culture. Discussion boards, forums, social media platforms, they all began humming with chatter about the Backrooms, each new post a potential breadcrumb leading deeper into the maze. The premises, inherent mystery, and potential for infinite exploration served as fuel for this growing fire, engaging communities across the internet and inviting them to add to the lore to map out the uncharted labyrinth. This collective effort spawned detailed narratives, personal encounters, and cautionary tales. Like urban legends of the digital age, these stories were shared and reshaped, adding new layers to the Backrooms' complexity. The Backrooms became more than a location, it turned into a world in itself, with its own rules, entities, and dangers. The anonymity of the internet allowed everyone to contribute and immerse themselves in the shared exploration of the unknown. But it didn't stop there. The Backrooms seeped into the world of multimedia, taking on forms beyond text and static images. Video game developers, entranced by the concept, started crafting immersive experiences based around it. Numerous games were developed, plunging players directly into the yellow-lit labyrinth. With every step, every turn, the fear and uncertainty that the Backrooms thrived on were rendered palpable, letting the players experience firsthand the unease and disorientation associated with liminal spaces. YouTube content creators, too, capitalized on the growing trend. From found footage-style explorations of the Backrooms to detailed analysis videos and scary animated stories, the Backrooms became a recurring motif, a staple of the platform's horror and mystery genre. These adaptations helped to further solidify the Backrooms' presence in the popular consciousness and demonstrated the concept's versatility, its ability to morph and adapt, making it a chameleon of dread in our digital landscape. Over time, as the Backrooms continued to proliferate throughout the digital realm, the concept underwent a significant diversification and expansion. The original premise, while inherently fascinating, was fairly simplistic, a potentially endless expanse of nearly identical monotonous rooms. However, as it seeped into the consciousness of a wider audience, the concept began to evolve, and the interpretation of what the Backrooms represented started to shift and multiply. Different platforms and communities began to leave their own unique mark on the Backrooms. Digital artists painted their interpretations of the dreary rooms, often infusing them with their own stylistic choices and artistic nuances. Indie game developers created immersive experiences allowing players to wander through the Backrooms, each one adding their own spin on the narrative. Online writers and storytellers began to spin tales of the Backrooms, introducing new characters, levels, and creatures, thereby deepening the lore. On platforms such as Reddit, Tumblr, and 4chan, numerous interpretations of the Backrooms sprung up, some stayed true to the original aesthetic of the decaying, monotonous rooms, while others took the concept and reinvented it completely. Some individuals brought the backrooms into the physical realm, creating art installations, photography exhibits, and even immersive theater experiences based on the concept. This diversification and expansion of the backrooms concept had a profound impact on its central theme. While the primary elements of familiarity, eeriness, and unease remained, they were expressed in a multitude of ways, often molded by the creative visions of those interpreting the concept. This diversification, in a way, mirrored the infinite complexity of the backrooms themselves. Each new interpretation was another room in the vast labyrinth, a unique, personalized exploration of the shared unease the backrooms evoke. However, as we'll see, this diversification was not without its controversies and criticisms. As the backrooms continued to morph and evolve, the fascination that had initially driven its rise began to wane. It's difficult to pinpoint a single reason behind this decline. However, a series of factors seem to collectively contribute to what many perceive as the fall of the backrooms. The first factor was oversaturation. As the concept of the backrooms grew in popularity, it started to appear everywhere. YouTubers, Instagram influencers, TikTokers, and more started incorporating the backrooms into their content. Soon it became a cultural phenomenon, something that could be referenced and understood by many. The backrooms began to make appearances in various forms of media, from television shows to music videos to clothing lines. While the expansion of the backrooms helped cement its place in popular culture, it also diluted the originality and uniqueness of the concept. There was a flood of backrooms-inspired content, and not all of it was mindful of the original tone and intent. Some content creators were accused of reducing the backrooms to just another pop culture reference, stripping it of its distinctive eeriness and psychological intrigue. And I am one of those people who accuse that of happening. The second factor was the perceived loss of the original theme and charm. As more and more people added to the backrooms lore, the concept began to stray from its original premise. The infinite maze of monotonous rooms gave way to diverse landscapes and a range of entities, many of which were more traditionally horror-oriented. While this evolution expanded the scope of the backrooms, many, like me, felt that it took away from the simplicity and minimalism that was integral to its initial appeal. The backrooms started as an embodiment of the uncanny, an exploration of the uneasy feelings evoked by familiar yet unsettling environments. However, as it was commercialized and spread across different platforms, it began to lose the depth and complexity that made it so captivating. Many felt that the backrooms was becoming just another generic horror trope, a shadow of its original thought-provoking concept. While it is important to note that the backrooms is still very much alive and continues to inspire and intrigue, there's a sense of nostalgia for the early days when it was a fresh, innovative idea. There's a longing for the time when it wasn't just another trend, but a symbol of collective unease, a shared journey into the uncanny. But as is the case with any cultural phenomenon, the backrooms had to navigate the tricky waters of popularity and overexposure. And in doing so, it underwent a transformation for better or for worse. The diversification and commercialization of the backrooms did not go unnoticed, prompting widespread critique and backlash. While some welcomed the expanded lore and increased attention, others felt that the essence of the backrooms was being diluted. The internet, being a fertile ground for discourse and debate, began echoing with voices that challenged the new direction the backrooms seemed to be heading towards. Backlash stemmed from the view that the backrooms was being turned into a money-making machine. From merchandise to brand collaborations to paywalled content, the commercialization of the backrooms began to raise eyebrows. Critics argued that this transition from an open-source, community-driven phenomenon to a marketable product undermined the original spirit of the backrooms. Furthermore, as the backrooms was incorporated into mainstream media, it was often simplified and repackaged to fit into conventional horror narratives. This resulted in a backlash from the original community, who felt that the complex psychological horror of the backrooms was being reduced to cheap jump scares and superficial terror. They argued that the backrooms was becoming indistinguishable from any other horror trope, its unique, unsettling ambiance lost amidst cliched storylines. Lastly, it's worth examining the trajectory of the backrooms in the context of the life cycle of internet trends. Like any other meme or viral phenomenon, the backrooms went through a period of rapid spread and peak popularity, followed by a decline as the novelty wore off and new trends emerged. This cycle is inherent to the fast-paced, constantly evolving landscape of the internet. But it's important to remember that despite these changes, the Backrooms is more than just a passing trend. It's a testament to our collective fascination with the uncanny and the unknown. It's a shared journey into the recesses of our minds, an exploration of our deepest anxieties. And in that sense, the Backrooms is here to stay, continually evolving and adapting just as we do. It will continue to inspire, to unsettle, and to intrigue. For at the end of the day, aren't we all just trying to find our way out of our own personal Backrooms? The Backrooms may have had its peak, but its influence on internet culture and other liminal space narratives is irrefutable. It set a precedent for exploring the unsettling and uncanny aspects of the everyday, encouraging creators to look beyond the surface and tap into the layers of psychological unease embedded in seemingly ordinary spaces. From art and photography to literature and gaming, the echoes of the Backrooms can be seen across different media. Despite the backlash and oversaturation, the Backrooms continue to hold a place in the heart of many in the online community. Forums, subreddits, and social media groups dedicated to the Backrooms still thrive, serving as repositories for personal stories, artwork, theories, and discussions. Here, the Backrooms live on, albeit in a more niche and specialized setting. This persistence is a testament to the power of the Backrooms as a captivating and universally relatable concept. Reflecting on the journey of the Backrooms, we're reminded of our enduring fascination with liminal spaces. The idea of transitional spaces, places that are neither here nor there, strikes a chord with our shared human experience. The Backrooms tapped into this fascination, presenting a space that was both mind-numbingly ordinary and deeply unsettling. The fluctuating levels, the constant hum of fluorescent lights, the inexplicable dread, all these elements come together to form a powerful psychological experience. The Backrooms remind us that our minds are a labyrinth of fears, anxieties, and memories, and in exploring these infinite mundane hallways, we're actually journeying inward, traversing the winding corridors of our own psyche. In this sense, the legacy of the Backrooms transcends its birth as an internet phenomenon. It remains an enduring symbol of our shared psychological experience, of the eerie beauty of liminality, and the infinite expanses of our collective imagination. I want to end this video by saying just a really quick praise to God, because He gave me this channel, and with whatever platform I have on this channel, I want to use to glorify Him. So I just want to say I'm honestly so thankful to Jesus for making the Backrooms and liminal spaces and this crazy kind of horror that I can't get anywhere else. Jesus changed my life, and in the description I have a video on how He can change yours too. He can make you happy, He can take away your stresses, He can change you into a better person. Anyways, have a great night, everybody, and sleep well.